Evil rarely announces itself with horns and a trident. It often arrives cloaked in promises of glory, amidst grand spectacles, and with a voice that speaks directly to a nation's deepest fears and desires. Adolf Hitler did not seize power in Germany solely through force. He seduced it. He led an entire country in a hypnotic waltz toward an abyss of destruction. This video is an analysis of how that seduction was possible. We will dissect the tools, the tactics, and the psychology used to conquer the minds of a nation. Chapter 1. The stage of discontent for seduction to work. The stage must be set. We delve into the Germany of the Weimar Republic, a nation wounded by the humiliation of the Treaty of Versailles, ravaged by hyperinflation and paralyzed by political instability. This chapter portrays the fertile ground of anxiety, resentment, and despair in which Hitler would plant the seeds of his ideology. He did not create the chaos, but he masterfully orchestrated it to his advantage. We will explore the economic hardship, the social unrest, and the deep-seated national humiliation that created a yearning for a strong leader and a scapegoat for Germany's woes. Historical footage and expert analysis will illustrate how these conditions made the German populace vulnerable to Hitler's charismatic, yet ultimately destructive appeal. Chapter 2. The Orator of Hate, the architecture of rhetoric. Hitler's primary weapon was his voice. This chapter dissects his oratorical technique, the slow, calculated beginnings, the crescendo of controlled fury, the use of simple and repetitive slogans, and the deliberate creation of clear scapegoats to channel popular rage. We examine how his speeches were meticulously crafted to bypass critical thought, appealing directly to raw emotion and the deep-seated frustrations of the German people. Analysis of key speeches, including excerpts and rhetorical breakdowns, by historians, will reveal the manipulative power of his words and how he used language to create a sense of unity and purpose, albeit a twisted one, among his followers. What specific rhetorical devices did Hitler employ to captivate his audiences? How did he exploit the emotions of fear and anger? Share your insights in the comments below. Chapter 3. The Aesthetics of Power. Propaganda. It's the cult of personality. The seduction was, above all, a visual one. Under the direction of Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi regime created an overwhelming aesthetic of power. We analyzed the Nuremberg rallies with their seas of swastikas, the mesmerizing nighttime torch parades, and the monumental architecture designed to project an image of strength and permanence. We explored the films of Leni Riefenstahl, which transformed politics into an epic opera, glorifying Hitler and the Nazi movement. These were not mere political events. They were carefully staged rituals designed to dissolve individual identity and forge a messianic cult around the Führer. We will examine the symbolism, the scale, and the psychological impact of this propaganda machine, demonstrating how it contributed to the almost hypnotic hold Hitler had on the German people. Thank you for witnessing the chilling power of Nazi propaganda with us. You've seen how meticulously crafted visuals and carefully orchestrated events contributed to Hitler's rise. But the conquest of a nation's mind requires more than spectacle. It demands the capture of its future. Chapter 4. The Indoctrination of Youth. Conquering the future. For the conquest of the mind to be lasting, it needed to begin early. This chapter focuses on the Hitler Youth and the League of German Girls. We detail how the Nazi regime systematically indoctrinated children, replacing the authority of parents, schools, and the church with absolute loyalty to the Führer and the state. Through archival footage, testimonies from former members, and analysis by historians specializing in education under totalitarian regimes, we will illustrate how Nazi ideology was woven into every aspect of young people's lives, ensuring the perpetuation of the seduction for the next generation. This systematic brainwashing was a crucial element in solidifying Hitler's power and ensuring the long-term survival of his regime, or so he believed. Chapter 5. The Abyss Revealed. From seduction to destruction, the final chapter reveals the inevitable and terrifying outcome of this mass seduction. Once the minds of the nation were conquered, the path to the abyss lay wide open. We connect the propaganda and rhetoric directly to their consequences: the suspension of civil liberties, the relentless persecution of minorities, the meticulously planned architecture of the Holocaust, and the unleashing of the most destructive war in human history. The seduction was never the end goal, but a horrifyingly effective means to achieve catastrophic ends. We will examine how the initial promises of national renewal and glory devolved into unimaginable atrocities, demonstrating the ultimate cost of surrendering critical thought and embracing a hateful ideology. The ascent of Adolf Hitler to power remains one of history's darkest and most instructive case studies in the psychology of the masses and the effectiveness of propaganda. He conquered Germany not first with armies, but with words, symbols, a masterful understanding of human fears and aspirations. The story of his seduction serves as a timeless warning when a society trades critical thinking and empathy for charismatic promises and scapegoats. The abyss is the only possible destination. What lessons does Hitler's seduction offer us for identifying and resisting political manipulation in our own time? Share your analysis in the comments below. Subscribe for more essential historical content, and let us never forget the price of allowing darkness to seduce the light.